And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, do we have a great show for you today. Captain Tim Ekstrom, along with Duke Ekstrom from the Royal Star. We are going to be talking all kinds of fishing. We talked about it yesterday that great yellowfin tuna fishing continues. Royal Star just backed in with a fantastic catch. We're going to be talking all about that. We're going to be talking fishing and more. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
The reels that Southern California anglers have been waiting for are here. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 40A and 50A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship 2-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. Shimano has increased the fishability of the larger Talica models by reducing rotational resistance at high drag and improving durability in critical positions within the reel. The all-new Talica 40A and 50A now boast Infinity Drive, which employs 2 drag washers housed on the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load by as much as 40%. The new Talica is built around a more compact, cold-forged machine aluminum one-piece frame. Plus, there's also a new higher high gear, built with the Southern California angler in mind. The new Talica 40 and 50A are available now at your local Shimano dealer.
Introducing new Power Pro Max 8 microfilament braided fishing line. It's built for offshore anglers seeking smooth casting and control. Power Pro Max 8 features an 8-carrier Spectra HT construction that cuts through current with ease for precise vertical jigging with a 25% thinner diameter. Available in white and metered 4-color for trolling spread control and precise jigging depths. It's stronger, smoother, and thinner. Power Pro Max 8 is now available at your tackle retailer.
Take a closer look at the Ford Bronco and Bronco Sport. You'll see adventure, discovery, and even a little mud. These 4x4s provide the muscle, tech, and durability to go anywhere. Get your ideal combination of power and capability to handle whatever comes your way with the GOAT modes. That's goes over any terrain. It's time to see Ford in a new light. New inventory has arrived. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer to take a test drive today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup here. Well, a very, very fun show for us today. And, Pete Gray's still out of the studio in Montana, making sure to keep those trout honest up there and enjoying some well-deserved time off. And joined by my good buddy Wayne Cotto on the co-host side of things. It was
Good morning.
Fun having you talking some Cedros yesterday. And a very immediate correction needs to be made. I said Captain Tim Ekstrom and Duke Ekstrom. Should have said Captains Tim and Duke Ekstrom. My main man sitting aside for me, certainly holding a license, and we were having fun talking during the break about you driving the boat and big schools and big bluefins. And Tim, how cool is it to have your son beside you? I've had the pleasure of watching Duke be a babe-ass kid on the dock at Fisherman's Landing, coming in and grabbing every plastic and filling us in on the babe-ass on the dock before you could drive, to now a very accomplished captain of the Royal Star fishing and putting a lot of us anglers on some great fish. It's got to be pretty awesome accomplishment and pretty cool to watch this young man kicking some serious ass.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
That's awesome.
It's as simple as that. I there's no way I could properly explain the feeling of gratitude for life to unfold this way. I mean, to be able to work side by side, shoulder to shoulder with your son, and we both love doing this.
Yeah.
It's not like he got pressed into service. It's not like it was like, oh, well, he's got nothing else to do. No, this is a true passion that we both share. So to just, have that life unfold in that direction, I'm almost speechless, because it's just such an incredible blessing.
Dude, this is what you're supposed to do. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean that from a guy who's been at the landing my whole life, and just seeing how you command yourself at the landing and how much the passengers and everybody loves hanging with you, and the way that you have the respect for what we do in our industry and your boat and the confidence that comes with it. It's just, I love it, man. It's really, really cool. And you're in the role that you're supposed to be in. There's no doubt.
I'll tell you something. When Duke was, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and it was obvious, like you said,
there's just no doubt.
Randy, Brian, and I, everybody in the dock, I'd be telling them to go, play baseball, go to school. I mean,
he'd be don't do's.
Yeah, he'd be walking down the dock, and Keohara would be on the other side, walking to the Point Loma Pier. Duke, go to school. It started early, right? But it was like trying to hold back the tide.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just it was absolutely inevitable. And when Duke started driving this year, it was about back in May when he became the specialist, the night driver, and when you put somebody behind the wheel, of course we're going to sit there and watch, make sure. So, all right, Duke, you're up, man. I'm going to life.
I love that.
I mean, every move, like working the sonar, throttles, like everything. It looked like he'd been doing it his whole life. And I sat there for a second, reflected, and I was like, because he has.
Yeah.
He made his first long range trip with us when he was 5. We took him on a 6-day, and for when he was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, until he was about 11, I think was the last. He spent a month per summer, spent a month on the boat with me during the summer. So
soaking up everything there is. So
you think about all that time.
You didn't realize you weren't teaching Duke, hey, push the sticks, do this, but he soaked everything up his whole life.
Yeah. Roy made a great comment last year. It was the first trip that he made with Duke. And we're sitting up on the bridge talking about her, or top deck, while we were fishing. He's like, look at him. He says, he doesn't even know why or how he knows what he knows. But, it's like he just knows it. It's instinct, because he's been doing it exactly. All those things. Like I said, you imagine a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, 10-year-old just soaking in all this information, just, their little computers. So, I mean, all of this knowledge that you can, and believe me, it's impressive watching him fish. Like his instinct, getting on the fish, following the schools, like he has a much, much more developed fish sense and ability than a 20-year-old should have. You know what I mean? Again, it's because he's been doing it his whole life. And
that's pretty interesting though, because not everybody's going to have the opportunities that you're providing Duke, right? So you coming up the pipe, you lived it. Mm-hmm. But you as a young captain, what would you tell a youngster that wants to get into the sport, to become a deckhand? What would you tell them? How would they get that experience? What would you give them advice-wise?
Use your eyes and your ears. Listening contributes to all of your learning. That's all I can say about it. I learned that through baseball. I learned that through fishing. Use your ears and use your eyes. You can pick up little things from everyone. It could be a passenger. It could be anyone. But you can find out a lot of little things and really advance your learning skills, which advances how well of a worker you are. That's what I'd say.
Getting to hear all the things from the people who I admire about it the most. These two guys sitting across from me. You talked about Brian and Roy and all of those guys do it the best. Like all of them are great fishermen, but there's a lot of great fishermen out there. It's how well you interact with people. Where everybody here is, they're on vacation and they're here to have a good time and they're here to get away from work. And it's you guys seem to take care of your family of passengers first, and then the fishing just comes with it. You can teach a guy to be a great fisherman. You can't always teach a guy to treat somebody with respect and and all the stuff that comes along with it.
It's a really good point that you make. I always talk about the Royal Star experience. I always talk about our product. Yeah. And our product not just being the fish and the amount of care we put into it and how we emphasize that, but our product is the end result of the experience that our anglers have on the boat. And you nailed it right in the head. I can tell you, like time and time again, you look out there and, fish count wise, somebody, caught 100 or somebody caught 8, whatever the hell they caught, maybe we caught 50 that night because we weren't, Johnny on the spot, or, we were late getting there, whatever. And at the end of the trip, the result is everybody walks off the boat having the greatest time. They just an incredible vacation experience between, the galley, between how the crew interacted with them on deck, that just the whole experience is what it's about.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out there and catch 1 billion fish in order for it to be a successful trip. A successful outcome is, did everybody have a good time? Did everybody feel like they got a great value for, the time they spent, obviously the resources they put into the equation. I mean, all of the whole package is really what we're focused on. And, like you said, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
We just, like the trip that left yesterday, it's like, and this is almost every trip on Royal Star. It's like a reunion. Here they come down the dock and, oh my God, Phil,
Totally.
Joe, just like Rolf and Kim, they fished with us for 30 years.
Wow.
I've been fishing with them since the mid 90s, just go down the list of the 19 anglers that were on that trip. Is a Larry Brown limited load. Of the 19 anglers that were on that boat, 17 of them I've been fishing with them for 20, 25, 30 years.
I love that.
Just amazing. I know it's really a testament to doing things right. And going back to Duke, talk about a guy who gets that, what I mean?
No doubt.
I mean, and going back to it again, they've seen this guy since he was a little tyke, running around the boat. So there is a familial element to it, but Duke brings it, down to the macro level. And in every, from the time those anglers show up throughout the course of the trip, helping them at the rail, helping them become a better angler, helping them rig their gear, just go down the list. He gets it. So
that's what's so fun, Duke, about watching is you're you fit in as such a tackle nerd with all of us at the shop. For your whole life, been on it to the point of schooling the guys in the shop. This was going on, and I know that you've got a passion for all sides of it, not just catching, not just being the guy that's driving the boat, but all sort of in your knowledge on tackle is incredible. And we see it in the tackle store all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to be the guy that takes care of the gear on the boat, and I'm sure it's a shared responsibility from everybody, but it's a lifetime of being just addicted to what you like to do. Sure fun.
I'll tell you one thing about being the tackle nerd. I just don't like it when you see fish and then they don't bite. There's always something that'll make them bite. You know what I mean?
We're all there.
There's always something that'll make them bite. Whether it's those ghost poppers that people started figuring out, throwing those into big old foamers, or the knife jig thing. There's always something that'll make them bite. It's just, what is it?
Exactly.
Figuring out what it is.
There is, and it's so fun to watch the innovation that gets born on the decks of these boats,
Mm-hmm.
and it just, like you say, whether it be a wrinkle, whether it be a piece of gear, whether it be fishing them at night instead of day, whether it be fishing them this way on this kite, there's so much cool stuff in our world, and such a high percentage of it happens on board the boats that you guys are driving every day. And it just progresses a little bit each year. There's always some little thing, some little wrinkle, some little difference. The clear popper, the tungsten jig, the knife jig instead of the short jig, whatever it might be, figuring out a better way to know where your lure's at in the depth marking your line, colored spectra, all those things. It's fun to watch it. You give this fleet several years to work on them, and you just watch them chip away, just get a little better, figuring out where, when, and how. It's pretty fun.
And it was the long range fleet that taught everybody how to do the kite, right? Now we do it locally with our private boats and stuff. But you guys been doing it for years on the long range trip and showed us how. And then we've evolved since then. 10 years of different tackle every year on this bluefin. 10 years, and every year there's something different. It's been crazy to watch.
Yep.
It has to be that way. And I remember the last time that we were on the show, I was talking about, it's the young guys that evolve it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just true. The older guys driving the boats, we'll sit there and, you'll adapt by necessity, but the younger guy, they just, their minds are so attuned. They're so quick and they're fearless, of course.
Yeah.
It's try it. Whatever. Try something different. That drive, right? I just go back into my, career and all of the innovations, like Wayne was saying, that we developed, that we advanced. and it all stemmed from that exact same thing, from seeing fish that don't bite.
I love that you said that. That's
that
exactly
don't bite
it.
good. It just drives you crazy.
I guarantee you I can catch that SOB. I know I can.
Exactly, or at least get them to bite.
Yeah. How many dumb things did you and your buds do when you were working on the Royal Polaris that are on now all guys driving boats that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you try that doesn't work either.
Sure.
I can remember. I mean, we'll go into story time here. I can remember sitting at the northwest of Clarion, and there's just vast schools of fish that they're not biting. I mean, you can't get one to save your life, man. And the ones you catch one or two, for in an hour, and you get them, and we're flushing them out, and they're spitting up those little box fish, right?
Okay. Yeah, which is like a 2-inch bait fish.
Yeah, and they're those little hard shell, little devil horns. It's like why they eat those things. I mean, it can't be comfortable in any respect. But we were rigging daisy chains of boxfish because we were flushing out their stomachs, and they're still like perfectly intact. So we rig up daisy chains, send them down on sinker. Anything.
Yeah, you got to try something.
Anything. Never got a bite on one.
Sure, that didn't work. But
we tried it.
But the next thing might.
Yeah, we did a single, we did a double. Then we were like, we had 10 of them. We had a needle we were running through.
I love it. I love that.
Daisy chain.
We were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we with sinkers dropping them down there. You think it'd be like a snake.
This is gonna work for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out. Look how I'm doing this one.
Yeah. Ironically, they probably would have been at night. We weren't fishing them.
There you go.
We weren't fishing. We weren't fishing jigs. We were. That might have worked. Who knows? But again, as just an example of the crazy stuff we tried.
Yeah.
I mean, the balloons, the kite. I mean, again, the list goes on and on.
Totally. So what's going on now, boys? It's been a great time. It's been an interesting season, some ebb and some flow, a lot of weather, but it seems like we're in a great pattern right now. The fall is kind of kicking in, and the weather sure seems like it's at least backed off to let us fish and make some work. And we're getting this great shot in the arm on our local zone with this yellowfin. And I know the Star just came back from a fantastic trip. We were watching them unload before the show got started here. What's kind of the rundown on what you guys are seeing, and what do we have to look forward to?
I think this time of year for sure. I mean, this is traditionally the best time for weather. You get Indian summer, and we'll see if that manifests. You start getting those high pressures that set up over the Great Basin, and that just makes for just beautiful weather out, especially out west, down the beach too. I mean, you said it, man. It's an interesting year.
It has been.
It's like that big influx of fish from the south. When it usually starts, you'll see it into July, into August, and by the second or third week of August, it's game on. All that fish that comes up from the south, the yellowfin, the dorado, the yellows on kelps, all that, and it just didn't happen this year. Just waiting and waiting. There really wasn't any sign of it. You can imagine all the long range guys, us transiting between, I'll say between that Bonita Cedros region and up above, there was just nothing. That area was absolutely stone cold dead for months. And water temperature was fine.
Everything was right enough.
Everything was right. Bait in it, the bird life, and just little dab of this here, little dab, but just nothing to really sink your teeth into. And lo and behold, and we've seen this before where all of a sudden this stuff just shows up here. And a little bit finally did. It was like 2 weeks ago. There's a little sign, there's a few jumpers. That smaller yellowfin was down the beach, and in the last, when was that you guys got on that fish? 8 days ago.
Yeah, I think it was
roughly 8 days ago. Guys got on some fish. Duke and I think you were driving. He was. They got on that fish that was down there, basically west of Colonet or in between Colonet and Ensenada, and. It's blown up for sure. There's more and more, and now even yesterday, Justin going down, or he was coming up on the XL. He was telling the guys that he sees more fish down below where those guys were, another 15, 20 miles, 30 miles, like seeing sign of it. So, it's just seems like things are a little later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing. I mean, you catch them in October.
Yeah, exactly.
Again,
it's a great
coinciding with the weather. I mean, this is kind of the perfect time of year.
The right setup.
Yeah. So I'm feeling good about. The prospects. It's still that like hot and cold. I mean, that's just the way this year's been. There's like a lot of peaks and valleys, and there's definitely been more like kind of mid, and a few more valleys than we'd like to deal with, but that's just the reality of this season. You know,
especially when it shows up the way that it did, where it just kind of appeared. You know, it's not like you saw it trickle in and get better and better and better. And like, okay, we're going to start to pick away and then we're going to have a great, it just all of a sudden was pretty darn good. And, you know, that we'll just wait and see how it goes. Hopefully it just continues to do exactly that. And more just floods in and we catch them.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me. You were talking about it, and you're right. I hadn't really thought much about it, but the lack of yellow on kelp and things like that this year, because you guys have had a tremendous year catching yellowtail. It's not like there's any lack of fish. I've seen trip after trip when you guys do go down and fish the beach and the ridge and all the various areas, the yellowtail fishing has been fantastic. They just haven't been offshore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows?
Whatever.
Who knows where they are? You know, I mean, there was a couple little flashes in a pan along the beach, but there's a whole lot of them.
Are you guys seeing a lot of kelp though when you're offshore?
No,
not really.
No. But here's why, because the kelp hadn't grown back. It's just starting to grow back, and we're starting to get storms. It'll break off.
Yeah,
we're in that cycle coming back, I believe.
Even though, I mean, we've seen enough that if there was going to be, if there were going to be big schools of yellowtail on them, they would have been. Who knows where that fish is? Right. It's just somewhere else.
It found some food. And it's happy.
It didn't all get caught. I know that.
Well, there's a crap load of it down in Cedros, right?
Yeah.
We know that they've been catching it all season.
Yeah, well, it's certainly great to hear. And here's what I do know. I know that yellowfin's around, and it's biting great. And if you're jumping on a day-and-a-half trip, there has been some fantastic fishing. And there's just nothing more than I love than showing up to the tackle store in the morning and looking at the whiteboard and just seeing these great scores. And Duke, you said it best. It's fun. It's fun fishing. You can, in the daytime, fly line a bait on your 25-pound rig, or you could cast your popper, or you could cast your Colt Sniper. If you get on the right school, you can catch them the way that you want to catch them.
Yep.
It's fast,
100%.
fast, fun action.
Yeah. Yep. Coming to the corner, seeing schools, hitting bird schools. I like good right now. For the distance, it's basically 100 miles. It's like made to order for a day-and-a-half trip. It's
totally right.
Made to order. Perfect.
I love
it. Little bit of you get there early in the morning so the guys can look around in the dark, and you get a full day.
Yeah.
And again, it's daytime fishing. There's bluefin mixed in down there too. I mean, these guys.
There's more than a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
And those big bastards too. It's like full on ambush. You're drifting along there. Poor guys with his 25-pound boosh big boil.
That's some of my favorite stories that we've heard. Guys on a 3-day trip, and we had 60 yellowfin in a row, and everybody's great on their 25-pound rig, and then one guy hooks one big one and just never stopped. Never got to turn the handle. Never nothing. Just like, that one's gone. Back to the drawing board.
Well, actually, from the Opry, you hope it takes Owen's life.
Yeah, you don't want to be attached for the next 2 hours.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's like, God, man, I hate to break the news to you, but you ain't gonna get it. It's a 180 pounder on a 25.
Good luck. Well, we certainly got a ton to talk about. Some great fishing going on. Wayne, today's is going to be a great show.
It absolutely is. And if you want to join us, call in. Just standing by, 833-288-0973. You can reach us by phone, and better yet, you can text us on the Let's Talk Hookup app. You can download the app for free and listen live, or later listen to us on the archives. And include your name and your phone number on the text included to be included for the prize. And we're giving away today a full trip on the Liberty.
How cool is that?
Oh, man, that's going to be such a good trip. And they're just pulling in right now. I just saw them pull in.
Taro's been like, we kind of talked about the Liberty, like they're in such a unique scenario. He has done such a great job with that boat. It's the full day boat at a Fisherman's Landing, but the Liberty is a 3-day boat that just happens to run full day trips. It's so nice and so comfortable, and their food is elevated. The crew does such a good job. And, the unique problem, and it's a great problem to have, is they just like you guys on the Star, their crew is so attentive and so good, and the people like it so much. The boat is just getting chartered up for day-and-a-halves, more and more and more and more. And you said it this morning, that's the full-day boat. Well, they just returned from another multi-day trip, crushed them. They do such a good job that it's very fun watching that boat just get chartered and chartered and chartered and chartered again, because they provide that level of service that's just unique to a run of that length.
Yeah. I mean, if you go on a full day trip on the Liberty, you're getting treated as if you're on a long range boat. I mean, an overnight. Their service is at that level.
Yeah,
and you just get spoiled now.
Yeah, it's
right.
Cool.
Well, Taro cut his teeth in that the long range world, so he learned from among the best. He worked with Brian for a long time, so he really got a good foundation to work off of. But good for those guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And how cool that one lucky caller or texter is going to get to go fishing on a full day trip on board the Liberty at the end of the show.
It's absolutely. Great. And we'll be right back with Captains Tim and Duke Ekstrom from the Royal Star. We're on 97.3 The Fan. Let's Talk Hookup app and Facebook and YouTube Live.
Ready for the largest event in our history. Saturday, November 1st, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. We'll have great savings from Daiwa on Saltist, Saltiga, and the entire electric reel lineup. A fantastic offer on the Proteus rods and SK jigs, too. Over 20 manufacturers reps, including Daiwa, plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, huge raffle, and most of all, incredible deals on tackle. Up to 60% off. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 1st.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find the location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. We're having a really good time in the studio. The stories are flying, and boy, you need to participate in this. We got Captains Tim and Duke Ekstrom from the Royal Star, and I think we're going to take a call. Ricky, what do you think?
Yeah, let's
talk to Alex from San Carlos.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
I had a trip like a couple weeks ago, and there's nothing like a good trip that when you get skunked, you learn the most. So I feel like there's one situation that did kind of come up though. Like we saw a bunch of bluefin and yellowfin like just foaming everywhere, and I've always wanted to know like what's the proper etiquette for like casting while you're like in the slide. Like I just never want to cast too early. A bunch of people casted at the same time and everybody got wrapped up. Nobody walked down, so everybody got all tangled up. But I mean, what's the right etiquette on something like that?
I think you just kind of put it out there already. When you cast, you got to walk down with your lure as soon as you cast that jig into that spot. Because if you weren't walking down, then you got 10 other guys that are trying to do the same thing as you. And then when you're popping that lure, you're grabbing their line at the same time. So whenever you get a clear chance, you got to know, obviously, how far you can cast a jig, whatever you're casting, a surface iron, a popper, a Colt sniper. You have to know how far you're going to cast it, but you also have to walk down with that thing as soon as you cast it in the water.
Duke, are you better to wait for the dust to settle? Or are you better to cast when the spot's up and you like you say, know your distance and know that you have to hit it? Do you wait till it comes down the side of the boat? Like what is the move, when you're casting at fish that are up and splashing around on a sport boat?
That's a hard question for me to answer, knowing that, I'm not paying to come out on the trip. I'm always the guy who lets everyone else cast before me. But, if I was put in a position there, if I know I can cast into that spot, I'm going to cast into that spot. I'm going to try and hook one.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, a mistake that I see, probably the most common mistake is the anglers cast too early.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I mean,
sure.
They're souped up, man. Bastards are
Buck
jumping
fever,
right there.
absolutely.
Buck fever, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. You get 8 or 10 guys up there ready to let her fly, and the first 5 or 6, the thing falls short, or you're not into the stuff by it, and the other 3 that waited.
Yeah, now your window's over.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
If you
then how
cast
do
and
you-
the boat's sliding,
Yeah.
it's over.
You got your one shot.
So, the 3 or 4 that waited, they're going to get their shot.
Well, you got the guys in the bow casting and you're sliding down the rail, but then you got the guys in the back with bait and they're trying to throw out and slide. The mixing of those lines at the back of the boat also is a problem, right? When you're fly lining the bait with the jigs.
Well, I mean, if there's going to be an element of that no matter what. If it depends on how many anglers you have on the boat, but if you're casting your popper, your lure, whatever it is, it stands to reason you're casting out there 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet. So your line is, they say, perpendicular to the boat. It's way the hell out there. The guys that are casting off the back, you're not going to get an interaction between those two very quickly unless
someone's bait
backlash.
It's straight down.
Goes right down.
That never happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the wheels and about 4 or 5 other guys here, guys. Duke,
Exactly.
I'm gonna need your hand with this real quick.
There's those mishaps.
Oh yeah.
That
Duke,
throw
you
a
better
wrench
take this real fast.
Yeah, they throw a wrench in the work quickly, but that's just that's the nature of fishing with 25 other anglers on the boat. Some of that's going to happen.
Yeah,
it can add to the excitement, the fun, and later the humor of when recollecting.
and when Duke, put yourself in the angler's shoes trying to get a bite. What is it's always going to be more fun, I'm sure, to catch one on a popper and these things. But if there's a spot up and splashing around, just based on a percentage thing, like, do you think you're better off to cast that lure into that spot of fish, or are you better to just let that thing slide down the side of the boat, grab a good sardine on 25 pound and catch them with a bait? Like, is it just not a black or white enough answer to give that? Like, what is the move?
You're kind of caught up in a mix of it's very. That's a hard question. I don't think that casting a bait in those things is more effective than casting a lure in one of those things, because those fish are on their own fin bait or whatever type of surface bait that they're on. They're not paying attention to the sardines that you're throwing over the side. You could throw over a whole entire deck box of sardines over the side. And yeah, you might get a couple of reactions, but they're still going to go over to their natural bait that they're already eating. It makes no difference. And on top of that, if you cast a popper in there, you're not trying to give the same exact action as the bait that they're already eating or the forage that they're already eating. It's a reaction bait. You're trying to make them react on it and get pissed off at it. That's the whole entire point of that lure that you're going to cast in there. So for that answer, I think a popper or a stick bait is something that reacts, or a crankbait in the wintertime for largemouth, just like that.
And it makes a difference too. Sometimes you can't get a bite on a bait. You just can't. And you'll roll into those spots. Those bluefin are classic for that. But yellowfin too, where, the only bite you're going to get is if you land a jig right in the middle of them, you might get that reaction bite. So, it's a situational. The answer is situational.
Sure.
It just depends.
Yep. Good call. I appreciate the phone call, Alex, very much, and a great call. Hey, we got our buddy Scott Sherman on the line. Good morning, Sherm.
Morning, Scott.
Hey guys, good show. Good to hear Wayne on the show. He does a good job.
Thanks.
Question: you were talking about those yellowfin down below. Last year they didn't seem to come up into this area. Do you see anything preventing them from moving up into our local waters?
I don't see anything to prevent it, but for whatever reason, they've definitely had a this season anyway. It's kind of like that. What do you think, Ricky? It's like that 32 line right now. It's like there's some kind of invisible barrier
camped out on that
there. Yeah, or below it. There's a few stragglers that have come up, but the real, any kind of volume for whatever reason, it just seems to want to stay down that way. Between say 40 and 100 miles, but for a few exceptions. And I'm talking about this yellowfin.
You said it best. From some of our local private boats. We hear from the boys in the shop. There's been a jig strike or two, cedar plug daisy chain on the 425, had a yellowfin strike, had a couple yellowfin strikes, made our day, but the meat sure seems to be camped out there. And again, same deal. Like I sure don't think there's anything preventing it from coming up this way. There's no big water cold block or anything like that, but the food is there and the water is there and they're happy being there. The same level that there's nothing preventing them from coming up is the same thing that's keeping them right where they're at. There's nothing stopping it, but boy, they sure seem to be fat and happy where they at. And the fishing has been great for now, going close to a week here, and we just hope it keeps on rolling.
Amen.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Hey, Scott, appreciate it very much, man. Thanks for the call. You're gonna, we're usually used to getting some kind of a lobster report for you. You scared from the opening crowd? When does lobster start for the old Scott Sherman?
Oh, probably in another week or so. Let the crowd thin out a little bit. Got a bunch of tuna bloodlines last week to put in the cages for bait, so we're all good there.
All right, I like it, buddy.
Probably a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that.
We got a 140 on the spreader bar the other day after it was gutted and killed.
Hey, nice going, man. That's great.
Outstanding.
Yeah, good day. And we got 2 of those little yellowfin that came up the line too, but like you said, it was just kind of a hit and miss flying strike kind of thing.
That sounds like a great day on the skiff to me, Scott. Appreciate it very much. Glad to hear you guys having such a good time.
Yeah, we'll get on the lobster soon, buddy. I'll give you a report.
All right, buddy. Appreciate the phone call
Thanks,
very much. Wayne had a good text come through. It says, good morning, boys. I've got a question for both the captains. I'm headed out on a 2-day later this afternoon. I'd like to know what you guys recommend in terms of gear. I never want to be that guy in bringing too many rods. Duke, what's the appropriate arsenal right now for a 2-day trip? And that's from Rory and Lakeside.
Ooh, that's fun. I would have a 25 or 30-pound fly line outfit with something like a 1.0, 2.0 hook, J hook. You don't need a circle hook for yellowfin. I would have something with a little bit heavier line for a fly line outfit for maybe if you fish bluefin or if that big stuff pops back up down that way. Whether that's, you can fish it anywhere from 50 to 80 pound, and you can also fish a sinker rig on that. So 50 to 80 pound fly line or sinker rig, a rig like that, 1 knife jig rod with 100-pound mono or just a top shot of it, and a 2-speed reel. And then maybe a rod for a cold sniper, and you're pretty much set. 4 rods.
Like a light, medium, a heavy bait outfit, a heavy nighttime knife jig rod, and a little bit longer daytime cast a lure rod.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
That's a great
simple.
Setup. Yeah.
There's so many guys nowadays. I need 3 different fly line outfits. I need a rod for 25, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's just no reason.
Yeah, your light, medium, and heavy with a reel full of braid can be very easily adjusted with a little piece of fluorocarbon to cover most scenarios.
Yep. Absolutely.
And a 2-day trip.
Yeah.
You don't need rods. You don't need a dock cart full of gear.
Yeah.
If you're not talking about going on a 10-day where you got a whole bunch of different outfits. So
you mentioned hooks there too, you guys. What's the scenario been like with hook size and with that leading into what's been the scenario with bait? A few weeks ago that was all the talk and the bait, and there's no sardines. We're never going to see a sardine again for the rest of our lives, and everybody panicked and put their head in the sand. And a couple weeks go by, and all of a sudden you don't hear a word about it, and it seems like things are kind of right back to normal. What's been the word from the water?
There's plenty of bait around. There's the small firecracker sardine. There's big old giant trout sardines. There's medium-sized baits. There's plenty of bait around. Just like we predicted, it's just fishing. You just got to find the fish. But going back to the hook size, these yellowfin, you can fish big hooks. It's not you need the number 4 little circle hook and 60-pound. No. Big hooks. And most of this fishing, going back to his question, it's very like you hit the school, everyone hooks one really quick, and sometimes they stick and sometimes they don't. So you get a quick flash, and when it first hits, you can fish that 40, 50-pound, no problem with a 2.0 hook, no problem. You get bites on it.
Okay, that's good.
But when you're still fishing, you're still drifting, you're kind of just picking away at them, that's when you go to your lighter line, your 25, 30-pound outfit.
Go in heavy, and then as the bite starts to wane, that's when you recommend dropping down.
For sure. Yeah, the 40 pounds perfect. And going back to that bait thing, there's been this huge influx in the last, I guess it's like 2.5, 3, maybe 3 weeks, somewhat of these perfect like 3-inch sardines.
Really?
They're not firecrackers.
Yeah.
They're not the little 1-inch, 1.5 inch. That was traditionally what we called firecracker. I don't know, the definition seems to have expanded now, but those 3-inch they're just perfect baits. Yeah. It's
good
like
swimming.
Oh yeah, they swim like and they live really good in the tanks.
You could probably really pack a lot of it on if you need to.
A lot of them in there, a lot of bodies. I mean, it's like the perfect bait. Yeah, it's nice to have a nice big sardine, a 4, 5, 6 incher, but those kind of medium size 3 to 4 inch, there's plenty of it. And I mean, the guys have had to fish more this year. It hasn't been just going back to the sardine thing. There's been periods where it moves out off the beach and disappears, which that's happened before. We didn't see it. It's fine. You're cracking me up. We'll never see another sardine again, Armageddon. Break out the.
Yeah, it's going to be chovies forever.
Chovies forever, right?
You don't have bait for 1 week, and it's like, that's it.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. It's just fishing. This year they've had to work harder at it. No question about it.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're having a real good conversation here. Tim and Duke, captains Tim and Duke Ekstrom on the Royal Star. And we'll be taking more calls and texts and catch reports. You stay tuned. Let's Talk Hookup, 97.3 The Fan, YouTube and Facebook Live, and Let's Talk Hookup app.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com.
Saturday, November 1st, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego, and it's our largest sale ever. Plenty of seminars by saltwater experts and over 20 reps from tackle manufacturers like Daiwa, Salty Crew, Shimano, Iser, and Power Pro. Don't miss all the great seminars, the huge raffle to benefit Rollo's kids, the popular casting contest, and of course, the huge sale. For the best ever tackle bargains, check out Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 1st. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing offers great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the Liberty. Many trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Hi, this is Tommy the Fishmonger from Tunaville Market and Grocery and the TV show Fishmonger. I've known Yosef Husseini for over 20 years, and he's the expert when it comes to real estate. He's helped me with estate planning and multiple estate questions that the average guy like myself just doesn't understand. Yosef's not only a fellow angler, but he's an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find their ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free, no obligation home evaluation now online from Yusuf by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get that report fast. Yusuf is a SoCal real estate guy to go to. He's helped me and many of my customers and family members to find what they are looking for in a home. He understands the real estate market like no other, so take it from Tommy the Fishmonger. Yusuf's the real deal when it comes to your real estate needs. Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and I'll see you at Tunaville Market and Grocery.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. We're having a really good conversation. In the breaks, we have better conversations on the side. You wish you could just keep going without, the commercial break, but that's how we work it. Hey, if you want to call us, make sure to call in to 833-288-0973. Jeff is standing by, and don't forget to use the app and do the text because we're giving away a full-day trip on the Liberty. It's just one lucky caller or texter at the end of the show. We were just talking before the break about what people should bring in. And we got a guy right here, Scott from Escondido, texted in, hey, I'm coming up on my 11-day October 25th trip. And will it be a typical 10-day variety style, or are we going to Lower Banks? Do you offer loaner tackle on the boat? I have plenty of 50 and below setups, but I don't have anything on the higher side. What do you suggest?
I think he's going on Royal Star. First of all, loaner tackle wise, we got away from the loaner tackle on the boat. It would just get beat up and trash, and maintaining it, dealing with the landing has much better tackle for rent. And that's what we recommend to all our anglers who need, whether it's, a full complement, full set, or if it's just a single rig, maybe a bigger rig for that trip, get it from the landing, because they maintain their gear beautifully. It's all, Shimano Talicas and I mean, CalStar rods. It's really, really good gear, perfectly maintained. So go through the landing for sure if you need gear. And then as far as whether we're going to be fishing lower banks, I mean, I can't answer that question yet because we don't know. I mean, 11 day, the door is open for everything. You've got that extra day where, let's say you have good fishing on the ridge. You have, a suite of options that open the door to make that run down there, because at that time of year, it's kind of exploratory. A lot depends on the water temperature, the quality of the bait, and again, what you're doing, what you have to work with. If you've got a lot to work with and you've caught enough fish where you go down there, great. If you have to go down there because there's not a whole lot up above, again, I'm getting into captain mode here, into the weeds, talking about how we formulate our decisions. But let's just say it's certainly in the cards at that time of year.
That's such a cool length of trip for that time of year, because every option is on the table.
Yep.
You've got the time to go where you need. You've got the time to sit somewhere and wait it out if you want. You got the time to make other directions. You got the time to go. You got the time to fish the top end of the bottom, like whatever. What a great trip to be on with just a lot of time on the water.
Yeah, I love going back to his question. Is it going to be a variety trip? Yes.
Yeah, right.
And that's the beauty of those trips, that whether it's a 10-day or it's an 11-day, you have time to fish
all of it,
everything.
Yeah.
Yep. And, different species, different locations, different conditions. Like you see so much, you can compact so much fishing. I mean, you think about it, anywhere from maybe targeting a 300-pounder on the lower banks in the middle of the trip to, catching yellowtail on the beach on your way up.
You might catch a calico bass on a swim bait on a stone somewhere.
You will.
And a 250-pounder on a kite somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
And like I said, likely will.
Yeah,
I love it.
Exactly.
I think that's the fun part about those trips.
Totally.
Because the variety is there, you won't get bored. If you happen to get lucky and you limit out on your tuna, you have other options to go fish.
That actually, interestingly, on these trips, whether it be a 7-day, whether it be a 10-day, has become a component of a longer trip, of a long range trip, that I think that a huge percentage of anglers actually look forward to as much as anything. That day on the beach on the way up, where we just, you go in there and you target just variety, bass, bigger yellowtails, sea bass. Exactly. Totally. I mean, just the chance to do that kind of fishing in those locations, and that whole the beach, we call it, and whether it be the coast of northern Baja, the coast of southern Baja, I mean, it's just spectacular that a coastline like that exists in 2025. If you'd have told me, I've been fishing down there for 38 years, right? And 38 years long range fishing down along that stretch of coast. And if you'd have told me 30 years ago, 35 years ago, that it was going to be relatively the same,
just as good,
and the same. I mean, there hasn't been that much growth, and the reason why, there's no industry, there's no water, it's understandable. But it's just amazing. You can go along a stretch of coast for 25 miles and see nothing.
I love it.
Like nothing.
God, I love it.
And slip into a little kelp, a little hard bottom kelp, make a drift, and start hooking big sea bass, big yellows, calico bass, and there's just nothing. There's nobody around. There's just beautiful, pristine coastline. I mean, it's remarkable that and it's not one little stretch. I mean, there's hundreds of miles of it, hundreds of miles of coastline that's still like that. It's magical, man.
Make you want to go long range fishing?
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Totally. It really is.
100%.
Perfect we'll spend a day hopscotching our way up the coast, and every spot, everywhere you stop and along the way, I mean, it's just like this, I look at it a little miraculous that there's still that much coastline in today's day and age that's basically untouched.
The part I love the best, 99.99% of the world will never experience what we do on the water. They'll never
It's
see it.
true.
You have to be on a boat to do it, and we get to see places that other people will never see. But hey, we have Brian Woolley on the phone from Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. I'm sure he's getting excited hearing about that. He'd like to be able to go places where there's nobody else around for miles. And the Catch Report is sponsored by Norsk Lithium. Power your boat with Norsk Lithium, the ultimate choice in marine adventure. Norsk delivers unmatched starting, trolling, and electronics power. Norsk batteries are packed with cutting-edge technology. Upgrade your marine power today. Set up your system at norsklithium.com and see the trolling motor doctor. Hey, what's going on, Wooly?
We got Willie on the line. What's up, Brian?
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, Wayne, you took the words right out of my mouth, man. I'm sitting here drooling listening to this untouched coastline beach fishing. Yeah,
little hard bottom, some kelp with nobody for 25 miles. Sound good out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing right about now?
Yeah, like that for years and years. Yeah, it sounds epic. Absolutely. Well, hey, our stretch of completely crowded and touched coastline here, 65 to 70 degree water this week. It did fluctuate a little bit from day to day, and with that, the half day fishing obviously did too. The mixed bass fishing for the half day anglers was better as obviously the week progressed. We saw a little bit uptick in that water temp. Rubber lures fished well, reverse dropper loops fished great for the sand bass and that type of deal. Some sheephead, few halibut still in the mix for those guys on the sinkers. Calico bass fishing bit well too on the lighter sliding sinkers and hard jerk baits, rubber lures, long casts with some of those hard baits like those Lucky Crafts. That new Asco bait, I forgot what it's called, looks kind of like a waxwing, has that same action to it. That caught some real nice bass this week too. So good mix on that type of stuff. We've had some pretty fun bonito fishing as well. Good little, shot in the arm with some of that stuff this week. 2 to 4 pound fish, not big by any means, but we all know that bonito pound for pound is probably one of the most fun fish to catch. So some good fly line action on the sniper style jigs, fished well for those little guys as well. 3/4 day fishing for us has kind of been a mix of the bonito, bass, and we did also a little bit of shallow water rockfish this week for the guys. So some nice reds, picacho, whitefish, sculpin, things like that falling into the bags for the anglers on top of some bass and some of that stuff in there. Overnight and 2-day trips aboard the Fury this week. He saw some more good yellowtail fishing in their accounts there at the island and offshore banks there. 15 to 25 pound fish, some on the squid, some on the yo-yo jig, some on the live sardine. Also mixed in some great rockfish opportunities as well for some of those trips there with limits on a trip or two. And then they top those counts with some nice calico bass, sheephead, whitefish, kind of depending on where they were, either on the bank or at the island there. So good week. We're looking forward to this deep water rockfish season opens October 1st, meaning that this rockfish effort will shift seaward of that 50 fathom RCA boundary line that's set by the state. So some nuances in there. I definitely recommend if you're going to be targeting rockfish, you A, know what you're catching, and B, know where you're at for sure on your private boats, because it can get a little tricky. Certain species you can't retain, like your copper rockfish, some of your inshore rockfish like your tree fish, brown rockfish, some of that type of stuff's all going to be on the no-take list there. So know where you're at, know where you're fishing. We will be fishing the bank, the 14-mile bank out there, so we're looking forward to getting back out there and sending some heavy sinkers to the bottom and seeing what's waiting for us out there. So that will definitely be on some of our 3/4 day trips, obviously lighter loads because of the depth and the necessity of drifting some of that stuff out there. So obviously lighter, faster loads does make that a little bit more manageable for our guys as well. So that'll be it for us this week. We're looking forward to that little change. And the weird thing is too with that is we're out there and, when it's really good fishing and we catch limit to that rockfish, you can't come back inside the boundary line and throw your anchor in the water and fish for bass. So you got to kind of plan your day, time it out. So it's just one of those weird deals that we have to work around with the state regs. So anyways, if you guys want to hop on a trip, give us a call here, 949-496-5794. Of course, you can hit us on the web too at danawharf.com.
Awesome report, man. Certainly some good fishing going on. We got great weather ahead, and boy, biting bass, casting lures sounds like a good time to me, Willie. Sounds like a very good time to come join you at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. If somebody wants to hop on any of those trips, get in on the action. One more time, give us the phone number. How do we do it?
Cool. You can hit us at the landing there. Those guys behind the counter can help you out. 949-496-5794. Easiest way to book is online at danawharf.com.
Awesome. Fantastic report, Job. Great report, as always, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of the show.
Thanks,
See
Willie.
ya.
Appreciate that very much.
And with that, hey, make sure you guys check out surftackle.com for all your surf fishing needs. And, we talk about the variety trip. The best place, you guys, to get your experience are on all these local trips before you get on those long range trips, because you get all the skill sets. What do you think, Duke?
100%. 100%. I mean, that's how I grew up doing it. Obviously, a lot of that contributed from Royal Star, but going on the Dolphin, going on the Liberty, going on the Pacific Queen, going on whatever boat I can get on, San Diego, Chubasco, learning all these little different techniques from every other captain that's around, Taro, Tiny, Booger, all of these guys. You learn a lot of different tackle tips and what to fish and what in certain areas and in certain conditions. It really sets the foundation of your fishing experience.
We see it in the tackle store a lot. A guy will maybe be intimidated. I fished half day all the time, but I'm not ready to go on a 5-day trip. Man, if you're a regular on a half-day boat, you likely fish 10 times more live baits than a guy that goes once a year. You have more trips to the bait tank. You have more times pinning your hook on just right. You have more times casting a bait. It's just like you say, the foundation is made fishing local.
100%. I completely agree with that.
You have to. I'll just give you a good example of that. Like I would go out on the Dolphin with Duke every once in a while when he's 11 or 12 and you got the music. Exactly. But I couldn't get a bite to save my life, man. And these guys are just they're 4 or 5 baits, I'm like, this is not out of here.
Nothing humbles you like the regular half day, boy.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We're just like, I cast out. We're just talking about wide open fish on the beach. Any bait gets a bite. I'm not there. Really? I got to try it. So.
Amazingly how fast these shows go, man. That's the first hour already up. Hey, we'll be right back on 97.3 The Fan, YouTube and Facebook Live.
Lowest price on fuel, great service, and easy access, even for trucks and trailers at their 24 pumps. Summit is known for the best price on ice, too. Almost half the cost of any other vendor. 25 pounds for just $3.99. Martha and her crew love fishermen, and they'll prove it by giving you 100 pounds free with a 35-gallon fill-up. Summit offers over 40 snacks and drinks to choose from for only 89 cents, and even a line of hand creams and lip balms for 89 cents, too. Summit now proudly offers locally made burritos and sandwiches, made fresh daily and ready to go wherever the current takes you. Summit just upgraded their car wash, and for a limited time, get a deluxe car wash for only $6. Grab the wife's car, grab a cheap sandwich, and make up for the day on the water. Summit Gasoline, lowest prices, friendliest staff, easy access, and free ice. What more can you ask for?
This is Rock Cod Rick for Adventure and Camping, where they bring the adventure to you. If you enjoy camping in the Eastern Sierra but don't own an RV or a trailer, or simply don't want the hassle, let Adventure and Camping park it for you. Check out their website, adventureandcamping.com. Select from over 75 campgrounds they serve. Decide on a trailer floor plan that fits your needs. Request a quote for your desired vacation dates. Then just show up and start your adventure. Adventure and Camping makes it so simple. They deliver the trailer to your spot, and you enjoy a clean, spacious trailer. When it comes time to go home, just close the door and drive away. It doesn't get any easier. If you enjoy camping in the Eastern Sierra but don't want the hassle, Adventure and Camping is for you. Check out adventureandcamping.com for details. Make sure you mention that Rock Cod Rick sent you for a special price. adventureandcamping.com.
Haida Gwaii Safaris, formerly Queen Charlotte Safaris, invites you to experience the magic of Haida Gwaii Islands, British Columbia, Canada. Hi, I'm Valerie Hoprich. 25 years ago, I fell in love with these incredible islands, the breathtaking scenery, the warm community, and the truly phenomenal fishing. That passion inspired me to open my own fishing lodge, just steps from the Sandspit Harbor at Haida Gwaii Safaris. You will be fishing in pristine, pressured waters for Chinook, king salmon, halibut, lingcod, and much more. Plus, be surrounded by untouched beauty. We pride ourselves on creating an unforgettable adventure that turns first-time guests into lifetime friends. You will come for the fishing, and you will come back for the memories. We are booking now. Call us at 1-877-815-2892 or visit our website, qcsafaris.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Haida Gwaii Safaris, where adventure and friendship meet.